SNL analysis, episode 6 in season 42. Who's the host? Dave Chappelle. Who is the musical guest? A Tribe Called Quest. But who is the musical guest? Tribe Called Quest. That rhymes. But I will not be reviewing them as I just reviewed the skits. So let's get started. So first and foremost, this is one of the highest rated shows in my list. One of the best shows. And I think a lot of it has to do because Dave Chappelle, he ran a similar show. So it's, he knows how it works, what to get laughs. He really knows his game. There are some missteps, but we'll talk about those. So first and foremost, we'll start with the Kate homage. I did not grade this because Kate basically got on the piano and did an homage to Leonard Cohen. And if you do not know, Leonard Cohen passed away during that particular week. So she's doing an homage of Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen. Leonard Cohen most very famously sang that song. And so, and it was Hillary Clinton, so it was it was a juxtaposition. It was art installation. I don't grade things that don't really have jokes, or I'm unsure whether there is a joke in there, but I just let it be, so I did not grade it. But I thought it was great, touching heart, very beautiful. Then we go into the monologue. The monologue was an absolute 10. Every joke landed. He walked that fine line of, because half of the country voted one way and half of the other country voted the other way, without offending one way or the other. I think he walked that really great line. It was very passionate, historical, and powerful. Really one of the best monologues that Saturday Night Live has had for a very long time. And I think it's really poignant and beautiful that Dave Chappelle was the person that was asked to host right after the election because of what's going on. And I do think that Saturday Night Live put a really wonderful show. Then we got election night. I give a +1 point because they had a guest star. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but if you want to find out who the guest star is, you can definitely watch the whole episode right at the bottom. And all the jokes landed. Every single joke landed. Basically, the premise was that these people were sitting around during election night, and some of the people were kind of like not really so shocked that Trump was going to win, but everybody else was. And so the juxtaposition of their conversation and what happens. Some of the jokes, and the reason why it originally got a 9, but because of that extra point, it went to a 10. Neil Patrick Harris joke, I wasn't sure, I was confused by that. And then also the 4 more runs jokes with the Indians, I don't know, I was confused with that. There's a lot of basically, if they're playing the Indians, maybe like an Indian curse because they're using their name. They could have gone political. Something could have been done with it. I don't know. But in the Neil Patrick Harris joke, I just didn't understand it. It was topical, resonating, no hiccups between the whole thing, even with the 4 reruns. And there was some slight misspeakings. Still really great. And then we've got The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead was amazing. It didn't need the intro, and the reason, but the intro didn't take away from the skit. It's basically Dave Chappelle doing various characters, and if you're a Dave Chappelle fan, you probably went crazy, if you love Dave Chappelle. Now, for me personally, there's Dave Chappelle, which is really beautiful. By hosting Saturday Night Live, is that there's a lot of people that are not really aware of who this man really is because they have not gotten cable or watched. So Saturday Night Live was really a catapult way to be able to place himself in a more public view. I know a lot of people know who he is, but a lot more people will know who he is after this particular situation. So Walking Dead was great, wonderful. All the characters, even if you do not know Dave Chappelle or are aware of his characters, really great job. I wasn't aware, I didn't watch the show, so I thought it was hilarious, very, very funny. Then we've got Weekend Update. Overall, they got a 10, and because they got a 9.5. Some of the jokes didn't land, but there was a really hilarious joke save. Like the joke about people liking Hillary and Donald Trump. I like them both. Didn't really have a lot of laughs. And then Golden State Warriors. With that I call out. I don't know. It just didn't. Maybe a lot of people didn't hear, and you could hear it in the crowd, in the audience too. But there was a Mexican Puerto Rican save. If you want to watch it, definitely it's right at the bottom, and that was really funny. Anytime you can take a joke, there's like, oh wow, I messed up, and then totally transform it. Really hilarious. What brought this was Of course, Kate McKinnon, who is an amazing, amazing icon. RGB10. What I want to talk about is Kate, what really makes Kate so amazing is that she gives us Easter eggs. Kate is an amazing multi-layer comedian that gives us Easter eggs that we can dive into and be like, oh yeah, So if you really kind of study her performance as a comedian, you can kind of see what she's doing. Like for instance, in one particular episode, she does something with the table, and you'll see with the emergency, and that's an extra cool little Easter egg. Then also like she whispers something into it, and he reacts to it. So there's a lot of these. If you watch her carefully, you'll notice there's a really great Easter eggs with Kate that allow for a multi-layer comedian that allow for the audience to subliminally go like, ooh, yay. SNL commentary, David S. Pumpkins. Who's David S. Pumpkins? I don't know. I gave it a 7 because I thought there was a lot more that could have been done with it. I thought it was, like it's basically what I'm doing right now. Maybe they were like making fun of me. I don't know, but I thought it was pretty funny. But I just think that there were some jokes that just didn't like characters that could have been punched up more. It didn't grab me completely, so I gave it a 7. And you could hear it. There's some of the jokes that didn't land. So then we've got explaining politics to kids. Simple, short guide. So that was funny. That was hilarious. It was a simple, short, like to the point, hilarious joke. I gave it a 10. It was just really, really funny, and it was really, really well crafted. And including kids can be really difficult, but they really did an amazing job. Then we've got the drunks. I think that I gave this a 9 because the Chinatown joke fell. I think that people didn't realize. Once again, Kate McKinnon has various different layers of her characters that she portrays, and this particular character, I believe she was a racist. So when she was making those kind of like, distinctions between these two kind of elements, that joke was like, is she being offensive or is this a joke? I'm confused. So, but I think it's because maybe people weren't pulled out enough from the suspension of disbelief into that particular character. I think something that really could have helped the characters would have been if one of them supported Hillary and one of them supported Trump, but at the end of the day, they were doing what they were doing, even though. And I know that we had that skit earlier about the things, but the election is over, and maybe we need that kind of healing. I don't know, but that's why I gave it a 9. It was pretty funny. The audience went crazy and they loved it, but because of the Chinatown joke, I gave it a 9 because that kind of fell flat. Kyle and Leslie. Kyle being a virgin was pretty funny, because they ran on with that, but I personally didn't get the humor out of it. I just thought it was endearing and it was cute, and I just didn't. I was like, I got what they were trying to go for. They were trying to go for these unlikely two characters coming together, and it just like, okay, but it was endearing, and it just, I don't know. So there really wasn't a joke there for me. So until the end, when if you want to watch it at the bottom. But, it just really wasn't a joke there for me. Then we got breastfeeding. Breastfeeding. 10. 10. Absolutely 10. I gave it a 10 because it was just hilarious. It was topical. It was the characters believed in what they were doing. It wasn't. It was breast milk. So I think for me, what takes me out is vomit and any kind of bodily, like when it comes out and it's not meant to be in your body. When it's when it's breast milk, it walks that fine line where it's like, it's something that I drank, but it's not something I'm supposed to drink now. So, you know what I mean? So I think that there's a lot of people out there that believe, that have these thoughts about breast milk and stuff like that. So I think it really was a beautiful element of walking that line and then just having, various different characters play various different sides of the idea. And I thought, of course, if you watch it, every joke landed, it was an absolute 10. So, and the audience went crazy again. So 9.2, there were I counted 9 skits, and they got a point of something, 83. And so it's a 9 point. I give them a 9.2 for this particular weekend. I believe that this is one of the best scores Saturday Night Live has had so far. Can we get a 10? Well, as you have shown with the point system that I've created, where if they have guest stars, they get an added extra point. But if it's someone that has hosted before, they get a negative point. So I believe because Kate McKinnon has been a cast member before, she will get a negative point. What do you know? What do you see? But will she still crank at a 10? I don't know. Watch next week, and I want to wish you a wonderful, wonderful year. Take care.